which is totally still relevant because Nami is actually in the game.
Yeah.
Might be something that Pepe Frog is looking for, following up on the engages from Crimson on Zac. We'll have to see, as we say. So there's a lot of new picks that we haven't seen before from these filthy plebs. Season 4 coming out on Netflix next month, by the way, of Plebs. So I'm excited for that. It's a good series.
You know what? What if Ezreal was actually able to win this lane though? Because one of the things which like why the Koreans are playing Ezreal so much right now is because he basically wins every lane. I'm not sure if that includes Caitlyn lanes or not, but I would assume so. Otherwise, Caitlyn would just be like the counter pick, right?
It's pretty much anyone who takes Kleptomancy just generally builds themselves advantages in lanes. Caitlyn has a strong laning phase, so it's probably more even than it would be against, say, like a Cogmore. Ezreal would sort of just run over the lane, so I'm not expecting huge advantages, unless Jackal gets caught out here. Those level 1 weirdly positioned players from the blue team in both games this time won't result in a kill, but Jackal's flash will go down, and that could actually be pretty important. Unlucky RNG's got the Glacial Augment, so if he's able to get in range, land a couple tongue lashes and a couple of licks of the auto attacks.
Do you think the flash was worth it?
I think it was necessary because he seemed a little undecisive. He sort of came out of the tri-bush and started to walk back towards his Krugs and then turned back around. By that time, it was too late. The whole team was there, so he kind of had to do it. I don't think he would have had to do it if he'd have just kept running or maybe hugged close to the wall when he came around out of the tri-bush. They wouldn't have actually had vision.
Do you think a heal would have been fine? Because there's no hard CC. It's just all slows, isn't it? I don't know. Either way, we're just gonna have to watch if Jarvan's actually able to abuse that at all. He did start topside jungle, so I expect that to happen. Unlucky RNG stepping so far forwards here, looking to get the heart onto Pepe Frog. Missed the tongue.
Pepe Frog, I'm beating him with his own pick. Jarvan did start off on his top side, but he was on a ward. They used the knowledge that there was a 5-man attempt in the bottom lane to sneak in and drop a ward onto the red buff. So they know he started up there, so they're probably expecting some aggression.
Wait, was that flash forward from Unlucky RNG? Already using the ignite down onto Jackal. The tower damage was just about there, so there is going to be the return kill. But it was first blood for the enemy team. Pepe Frog looking for the 1v1 now.
He can win this. He can actually win this.
He has no flash though, and Ezreal does, so even if he gets close enough to go for the kill...
Ezreal was actually forced to heal there,
Jarvan might look for the dive. He's going to go for it.
To just use his flash, and now he's positioned forward as well.
Okay, just about managing to back away from that one. So, is this a Twitch Prime stream? I can't find the sub button. I'll let you know when SU Finance respond to our emails, okay? I'll let you know.
It looks like Crimson's going to be the one show up in the bottom lane.
He's taking a lot of damage. Excellent flash from him. Auto attacks, just about enough damage. Stake.
That'll be enough.
You are in the wrong location, my friend.
1v3.
Oh, man.
No way out. So this is... we touched on how unclean the last game was.
Yeah.
This one doesn't seem much better for either of these sides. Real scrappy. It's what I said. Jackal used the flash early, so he was always in danger of Unlucky RNG landing a tongue lash and just getting on top of him with the Glacial Augment. There's no way for him to get out. Exactly what happened. He just landed a tongue lash and flashed on him. They got the first blood. It was traded back and forth as both bot laners or Birmingham were eventually killed. Stake lost his life in the mid lane as well.
Yeah. The thing is, it was better off for Birmingham because they got the first blood gold and the kill went over to the AD carry, which is so good. He was able to build the Tear of the Goddess. Stake going in, knows that Unorthodox thing has no mana right now. There is no flash. So much minion damage. Barrier is going to get burned. Forced to use the heal. You can't. He keeps going in like he's Zed, and he's not Zed. That's not good.
It just doesn't have the damage to get the kill. The barrier...
It's too much minion damage, yeah.
kind of baited him, and yeah, the minions did so much.
Excellent shuffle, getting baited in by both junglers, but the knock-up was there for Audio Slave. Crimson in a terrible spot now. Does dodge the stun, might have enough damage. He does have the passive just in case. Cloudy stepping a bit too far forwards. Bembo is a level down, misses the rupture onto him. How is this top lane matchup, do you think?
I think it's playing out kind of standard. I think neither of them push that hard onto each other because Poppy can push the waves with her Q. The hammer shock. Can sort of passively push waves with that, the AoE, but Cho'Gath sort of activates his E and pushes back and sustains back up. Both of them with Grasp of the Undying, so Jules 1v1s just sort of tend to drag on, so not really any huge advantage is going to be built. Up until Cho'Gath gets the Feast available, as soon as he hits that, he can actually start to pressure.
Can he ever go for a kill, though?
Yeah, I think if Cloudy does get low health, it's going to be difficult. We touched on it last game. She gets more resistances below 50% health, so it's going to be difficult to put her in a position.
And she can just ult you away, even if you get the
Feast.
Low enough.
You can cancel the Poppy ult, right, with the silence. Maybe just won't fully remove the cast of it, but maybe if you do it early enough, then it'll only knock you up instead of knocking you all the way back. Generally, I think it's just a standard tank v tank farm fest.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good for Bembo. Like I say, we've seen so many of his lanes go sour, and other lanes go well. But you don't want that. You just want consistency. And now Jackal stepping too far forward. Such a good bubble from Pepe Frog. Damn, that was beautiful. That was so well timed, unorthodox thing. Stepping a bit too far forwards. Does dodge out on this slingshot. That wasn't well aimed, I don't think.
Just sort of switches places with Crimson.
Yeah.
I think he expected him to start to back off, but when he saw the Stake Azir, but I mean, Unorthodox kind of just saw how little damage Stake actually does to him at this point, so he wasn't that bothered. Sort of swaps places with Crimson.
I mentioned I wasn't sure how he performed on this Azir. How do you feel about it now? Cloudy getting quite low there.
Feast is on cooldown. Dang it.
Yeah, definitely.
How that works. Yeah, so wasn't actually in threat of being feasted and killed, but still getting taken down quite low.
Okay, so we mentioned Stakes Azir. I've not been impressed by it thus far. I think Xerath is a great pick into it, of course. But, you know, I don't think there's been great mechanical usage thus far from the Azir. I think the correct timing to actually go in with your E, we've not seen it thus far.
On the bright side, it does still show that Stake is not afraid of making these plays.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone for a couple of engages, and we're just going to have to wait and see when he gets his full kit available and actually starts ramping up, doing damage, gets the Nash's Tooth, gets a couple of extra items. That's when it's really going to come online and start coming into play, all of the funky mechanics you can do on Azir that you need to have the mastery of, really. Follow up and be super effective in these team fights. As of right now, not the most.
Oh, the lane gank. They have no idea of this. Oh, gonna get the double knock up as well. Pepe Frog instantly being flashed on. Ignite ticking. Oh, that was well set up from Birmingham. Excellent from them. Bembo does get the knock up now from Cloudy. His ultimate yet again isn't available, but these extended trades seem to do pretty good for him.
Bembo again feasted a minion. Cooldown again, so Cloudy knows he's kind of free to go for these engages.
Let's bounce onto two. Oh, that Emperor's Divide was not good from Stake. Looking to do as much damage to unlucky RNG as possible. It looks like he could get stunned out now. The barrage is coming through from Xerath. Appears to not get any kills with the picks. Just getting tagged out. Oh, the flash forwards from the two backlines trying to look for the kill. Jackal does get the ace in the hole. Onto Unlucky RNG, who was standing alone. Pepe Frog does get the heal onto Stake as well to keep him alive now. We could see a re-engage. Excellent chunk of damage onto Pepe Frog. Instantly getting bursted out. Stake has no mana, nor does Jackal. So this will not go well for them if they continue the fight. And both teams back away from that one. That was
a super extended fight. All starting off with really nice lane gank. Audio Slave gets the double in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Double knock up, takes out Peep Frog, and that fight went on long enough for Pepe Frog to respawn and get back involved again to sort of stop any bonus aggression coming through, by dying. So he actually died twice in the same team fight. Sacrificial lamb.
I think this Ezreal pick's been working for them. Like, Jackal has not been able to do anywhere near the same that he did in the previous game. It's a 7-minute 30 tower. We're now, like, over 3 minutes past that now, and, like, I don't even think he's got the chance to touch the enemy tower. Ezreal is clearly a strong pick. Maybe it's kind of to do with the Nami instead of the Morgana as well. That could be a factor. Of course, the flash to start the game was also something to note, but I think the Ezreal has been strong too.
Yeah, being first blooded probably didn't help in that regard either.
Yeah, regards. Okay, Righteous Glory is already complete now for Cho'Gath. The question is he just going to sit in lane and not utilize that at all?
Yeah,
or is he going to look for some roams?
Based on how last game turned out, and particularly since the first dragon is a Cloud Drake and not an Infernal Drake, Benbow doesn't seem that interested this game in grouping up with his team and pushing objectives. He's kind of content just to stay in this top lane, go for the 1v1 matchup against Poppy. Poppy, though, potentially looking for an
flank onto Stake.
In the mid lane.
He's got baited again, looking to dive in on him. Does get an excellent Emperor's Divide. Stun does follow through, though. That will be his death, unfortunately. It looked promising. He might have been able to escape from that one. It would have been very difficult, but I'm not entirely sure like what he was going for there with the shifting sands.
I think he just knew that since Poppy was behind him, he can't dash through her because of her W, the steadfast presence. So he has to sort of try and improvise, dashes forward and knocks them back towards his tower, but kind of max range stun from Xerath just locks them in place long enough for the kill to be picked up. And now he's the one that has a 2-level disadvantage.
Yeah.
He's down by about 30 minions, 3 deaths already, 12 minutes into the game. But bear in mind, this is the Plebs that we're watching, so about a 2 and a bit thousand gold disadvantage 12 minutes into the game.
It's not massive. They can definitely recover in the team fights. Jackal's just...
That's really where they shone in the last game, was in these team fights. So we'll have to see whether, without the assassin to just one-bang the enemy AD carry, just bop him on the chin, can be a little bit more mechanically intensive play required from Stake this time. They're just pressing all of his buttons once, but again...
They've seen it once. This, like, if it happens,
they have Crimson. They have Crimson hovering around though.
I think there's too much burst damage though for Birmingham. So if all 3 of them clash at the exact same time, I think it's still just one out by Birmingham. And they're looking for it. Pepe Frog doesn't get knocked up. The tidal wave is there. Unlucky RNG doesn't even need to do anything in that fight because the damage is there from the backline plus the Jarvan, but
the
getting
tower,
bounced
though,
into the
team.
The
third man.
Unlucky RNG taking some auto attack damage, does lock up Crimson, doesn't have the passive either. Xerath is now in range, has the barrage. Jackal is alone, double kill for Birmingham, and Stake just wasn't able to get involved in that. I think he was late on the rotation or was being zoned off.
He just...
Wait, look, the
damage
engage again? What is that? The Emperor's Divide just gets dodged. Excellent heal from him. Will he be able to dodge the damage? Flash forwards. RNG gets the auto attack. Again, this isn't working.
Caitlyn just didn't have the damage to burn through Unlucky RNG. It was a nice sort of counter attempt from Crimson. It was a little bit late. Pepe did already die, but he got him, used the Cataclysm against them to lock themselves in place and kidnap both the jungler and support under the tower. We're able to pick up one kill, but unlucky RNG with the grey health just took way too long to die.
Flashing! Feast gets so much damage down. Is he going to be able to chase Cloud? He doesn't have any mana, though.
Such a weird... She flashed backwards and dashed sort of forwards again. I like it. Fancy feet. Actually going to work out this time. Unlike Stake's attempt in the mid lane.
The flash from Bembo so that he couldn't be stunned up against the wall. He would have died for sure there. I think if he knew Poppy's cooldowns a little bit better, I think he would have known that the E wasn't up in time. If he'd just gotten one more auto attack, the Feast would have gotten the kill. Just unfortunate, I would have to say. But, I mean, good to see that he's up in lane regardless, especially with the rest of the map being so far down. No.
This game, he is paying a lot more attention to the laning phase. We touched on it again. Stake, though.
What?
He might just sort of solo die to the Xerath ult.
What was that?
I think he was expecting the EQ combo from Jarvan to come out, but it just sort of didn't. He was patient, held on to it. Maybe just buying time to try and wait for the Emperor's Divide. It came up about a second after he died, so... Maybe if he was able to dodge out of
Voyage under the
turret,
getting trapped up. This is an interesting dive
by
now.
Himself?
Jackal, he's gonna get spit out though. The damage is there. Ignite down onto V-Man. Jarvan looking for the dive as well. Ace in the hole does some damage.
Now they're in a bit of a weird spot themselves.
Getting close, might be able to help this.
Jarvan sat on a ward. And they know he's there, but Stakes coming from base still.
From the mid lane.
Xerath on the side.
Okay. It's good for them to survive that one, but this is, like, they're bleeding, right? We just saw the mid turret fall, which I guess was off the back of Stake, you know, unfortunately getting killed there. The Herald's now going to go over. They can't respond to this, having been pressured off of it. This isn't good. This is... They need to stop hemorrhaging like they are right now. They need to just find ways to start and... I don't know, balance out the game. Of course, we see Caitlyn at a really weak point in her build. Azir just finishing the Nash's Tooth isn't amazing, but it's definitely a power spike. But being 0-5 and 2 levels behind, he feels incredibly weak. Getting ulted now by the Xerath, just looking to do as much damage as possible. Audio Slave looking to chase him as well. Excellent use of the Emperor's Divide onto the Cataclysm. Will he be able to actually escape from this one? The Ezreal ult doesn't get him. He doesn't.
Almost dodged back into it, but again saves the flash. Could have
Jackal
maybe
step way too far forwards, getting baited by that brush yet again. So low on the health. At least he had the support there from Crimson, taking RNG under the turret. Excellent dangerous dodge.
Okay.
The turret damage isn't quite enough, along with the ace in the hole, so Crimson's gonna have to pick up the kill, spitting him out. Crimson getting dropped so low. The passive is there. Pepe Frog is going to join the fight, so they're going to be able to stay alive. Excellent tidal wave, just about tags in. Bubble follows through as the auto attacks. Pepe Frog picks up the kill, and now Benbow in the mid lane getting flanked by the Jarvan. They have the CC. Stun goes wide from Unorthodox, so they might not be able to kill him. He's so tanky. Excellent use of the Rupture to stop them from following on that chase. Silence as well forces them to back away.
Unorthodox just not really having too much mana in that fight. Already committed the ult to try and get the pick onto Stake before. Did successfully find it in the red side jungle, but wasn't available to try and finish off the kill on Bembo. And the top lane again, really just these lane brushes.
Oh, we might see the Abyssal Void coming out.
A source of pain.
Teleport now being channeled. We do see him coming through. The True Shot Barrage does go wide. Bembo's there. The knock-up. Heal being used by Jackal, trying to stay alive as much as possible. Cloudy does have the damage. Feast does come through, though, so it's the 1-for-1 so far. Stakes now joining the fight. Rupture goes wide. This is a tanky Frog. Ezreal now come to assist him. He has the thick skin. Stake diving forwards yet again. Like, I really don't like how he's using these shifting sands, but Crimson does get the catch off onto V-Man. Hugs them together. Follows through with the CC. They have the damage.
Steak picking up his first kill.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good overall from the Plebs, but I'm not seeing what I want. Like, the Azir mechanics aren't there. I think it's pretty obvious.
The macro game is the Rift Herald's dropped in the bottom lane. Audio Slave takes a free turret for that. And the second one, I think that was just the Sun turret in the mid lane or
Sundisk, yeah.
up wherever that was. So only one. Turret going to be traded for the team fight victory in the top lane. That is going to close the gold lead
Oh, no,
back
Pepe
down
Frog.
a teeny bit, but
That electrocute, man. That does damage.
Wasn't quite close enough to get the knock up though, so Pepe Frog kept alive, had no backup himself. One thing that I'm not certain about, and I really don't think I like it, for the University of Birmingham, the coordination with the Tom Kenchel just doesn't seem to be there. It's the second time now Unlucky RNG has ulted into a fight and brought no one but himself, and sure, it's nice to have the extra body there, but had the potential to catch out a solid few members of the team as Cloudy was running up the lane from the top side. Unlucky ulted in behind, but there was no one close enough to get involved, so they ended up sort of delivering himself.
RNG gets the stacks off onto Stake. He's looking to hop away, flashes onto him. Crimson dropping low. The redemption does just about come through in time. Jackal gets the kill onto him. Emperor's Divide stopping them from going onto them. Bembo in the backline does get a kill off for himself. Cloudy stepping too far forwards, flashing over the wall. Does Jackal have enough damage? Ace and the Holder's coming out, does pick up the kill. Crimson diving through as well onto V-Man. Double kill now. Everything is going so well for Plebs in this fight. And they're right next to the Baron, and they should be able to go for this if they wish to call for it. But it doesn't appear to be the case. They know that Jarvan could steal it.
Unlucky RNG getting, again, a little feisty. Tries to get the solo kill onto Stake in the middle of his team. Does get the Devour and flashes forward, but drop the Ignite, and Stake gets out without using either of his summoners and just drops the Emperor's Divide and resets the fight.
Yeah.
Nicely cleaned up. Jackal finding the positioning to deal the damage onto the front line. Finishing off with the ace in the hole as Crimson gets the elastic slingshot to land on Ezreal. Lead up the rest of the fight, and now they've taken out the mid lane outer turret. Well, their second turret of the game, and the gold lead was at one point pushing about 10,000. Now it's back within about 3,000 gold of each other.
Jackal has been doing so much work in these fights, though. Like, he is doing so much damage per minute. I'm sure if we could actually see those statistics, that would be...
Despite the sort of weak point, Caitlyn's build, but even weaker than Caitlyn's build is the entire bot lane being on the bot side of the map, leaving Baron free.
Poppy hard counters this. She's able to ult away the Cho'Gath if he goes for the feast still. She's also able to stop the jump in from the Zac. We're going to see her miss it yet again, though, looking for the steal. They're coming, blue team. They pick it up. They don't have the members of the team to win the fight by the looks of things. As Jackal just about gets there, gets the first kill onto the AD, carries so much damage being dished out, as well as Unorthodox isn't able to get any kills in the fight there. Poppy just about finding two, but that was so bad for Birmingham. Poppy, you can't miss that ult. You can't lose the fight, especially when Jackal wasn't even there for most of it. That was awful.
Audio Slave Smite left Baron on 18 hit points. Picked up by Zac. He was able to find the steal. Wasn't even a flyby. It was just sort of in the pit at the same time. Picks it up, and now the gold lead is practically non-existent. Less than 100 gold. Now separating these teams, but...
There should have been literally no way they could have stolen that. There should have been no chance.
Ults from Cloudy just really not been on point today.
Not even that.
Another one, sort of point blank, just not getting rid of Bembo, but it was on the backside as Zac got over the wall, so she kind of had to commit to stopping one or the other. Ended up not getting either. Aaron stolen away for Plebs. They put themselves up a Mountain Drake. In response, though, for the University of Birmingham.
Okay, so Adaptive Helm is picked up for this Cho'Gath. How do you feel about that? I don't get it. Like, what's it for?
I mean, potentially Zerath damage is really all that it's there for. I guess if he's expecting to be poked down quite consistently by Zerath or the ultimate or
I guess the
something,
Leandru spurn, but like that's
there,
about it.
there isn't a huge amount of magic damage
I would have preferred
on the red team,
yeah, I would
so
have
I guess
preferred the Spirit Visage.
maybe he was just going for. Maybe he's most likely just going to be building one magic resist item, so he just goes for the one that gives him the most value per gold spent into that particular stat, and now he's going to start looking into armor items. Or looks like he's going for a Warmogs next, and then probably Thornmail or Randuin's might come through. Probably not Randuin's because his crit damage isn't too high.
Okay, so they've seen Stake is in the top lane. They know that if they go for this fight, it will be the 4v5, but the team was able to recall away from that one. Crimson just hops away as well.
No stun from Unorthodox. Crimson gets himself out alive.
Interesting. I think they could have easily, like, stopped Bembo there, probably. He was literally recalling, like, on their screens. That was odd to see. Stake gonna pick himself up a blue buff, and now I think they should be able to look for the siege now. Finally having dealt with those side lanes and now holding on to this Baron, I think this is where we can start to see the strength of their comp. Azir poking them out with his Q. Of course, the trap lineup from Caitlyn. We know she's a god at sieging, so hopefully they'll actually do this before the Baron times out, which I believe it has. But at least the gold is even again.
Yeah, Righteous Glory popped.
Wave coming out, the chain CC onto Cloudy just gets devoured. That feels like the first time we've actually seen a defensive devour now from Unlucky RNG.
Yeah, didn't have to flash forward to try and solo kill someone with it.
Like that. That speaks a lot of that's one of the first we've actually seen. Crimson, again, the engage getting stopped by the steadfast presence. Benbow on the front line looking for a target to actually eat. But again, the Devourer is there. Passive just about coming up for Crimson. Tried to escape that with a flash follow through. Is there Sun Disc? Drops now. Using it defensively. Cloudy's still super low. He doesn't have a Warmog, so he's not going to be able to regen off of this one. Looking to flash forward, trying to go for the snipe. Didn't work for him. Look at the bot wave, though. They're just trying to stop backs. This could be good for them.
Okay. The low health bars, pretty much across the board on Plebs. Bembo doesn't have the Warmogs yet, so he's still going to have to stick around. Gonna just passively regenerate. Support gonna come through on that minion, so this turret will be picked up.
That's good for them. I think what we saw there is just an excellent usage of the counter to Zac. If we do see these picks left up on the table again for Birmingham, I don't want to see the Zac locked in because Poppy and Tam Kench, when played correctly, do counter it. Although it is great, of course, for their playstyle, it's like when there's two counters, let alone one, I don't think like should really be working out for you. Ezreal, I think he's sort of hit his peak right now. I don't think he'll get any stronger than the items that he's currently sitting on. But Caitlyn has made it to the 3-item point. Definitely gonna be hurting, as if Jackal already wasn't.
Ezreal looks like
his Warmogs as well.
It looks like he's going for a Doom Nyx as his next item. He's got the Executioner's Calling, so he's got pretty much the most valuable part of the item right now, because really not too much armor being picked up yet. So the Last Whisper really not actually providing that much for him. It's only a Ninja Tabby and Righteous Glory that's providing armor at this point, so it's fine to
looking to engage on this one. Steadfast Presence does drop down, which gives an opening for Crimson to engage on them. Doesn't follow through with the Let's Bounce, but might not be necessary. Excellent ult from Poppy, knocking Jackal out of the fight. And Lucky RNG is able to pick up the first kill as well onto Zac. He was standing far forwards enough. Stake does get a kill as a return though. Jackal flashing forwards, picks up the kill, just about has the assistance as well as the heals come through from Pepe Frog, that he doesn't fall for playing so aggressively. The snipes coming out from Unorthodox, still looking to pick up these kills. We see it at the start of every fight. They open up with the barrage, they try to do as much damage onto a target as possible, and then they dive them. But this time it got turned onto them, and now Cloudy's stepping a bit too far forwards. Bembo still looking to feast onto a target. He's a tanky boy. Emperor's Divide coming through from Stake. Excellent flash from him. There is the Cataclysm, though, in time, and they're going to be able to walk away from this one. Cloudy in a poor position now. We might see him getting feasted on, and it does come through. Doesn't pick up the kill, but Jackal's auto attacks just not enough. As he's looking to walk away, Audio Slave comes through to save his teammate, but pays the price. I think overall that was like a 2 for 2. Maybe a bit more for the Plebs as the respawns do come through for Birmingham, but they were able to back away from this one and pick up the Dragon.
There was a lot of people that died, but really it was almost just a blood for the sake of blood, as really the only objective to come out of that, it will be the Mountain Drake. So evening up the Mountain Drake score, the next dragon will be the Elder. So this game already going on a lot longer than the previous one.
Oh, absolutely. We don't even know who's going to win yet. The gold is so even. The Waves now shoving in top and mid-side Baron on the table. That's definitely going to be the next point of contention. I think a lot of this... Yeah, contention. Words that I don't know.
It's cool, I got you.
I think Unorthodox is sort of like, he's really trying to win it for Birmingham here. If it's not Birmingham, I would be so tilted. Well, they would be tilted if they ever watch this. I think it's Birmingham, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty
team
sure,
name not found, right? But we've kind of got like reverse situations for these AD carries now. Ezreal, I mentioned, doesn't really need to build the armor pen, because no one's really building armor, but Caitlyn's decided, just straight up chose not to, gone for the Bloodthirster, but there's a Poppy that's kind of stacking armor. She has Randuin's and Iceborne Gauntlet as well. So it's kind of interesting to see them go for those different sort of routes. Jackal going a little more defensive with the Bloodthirster. It's relying on the fact that he can just keep hitting this Poppy over and over again. Might take longer to kill her, but at least he himself won't be taken down. V-Man going a bit more
I think this choke
aggressive
is
build.
super strong for Birmingham to hold, but as the AoE is coming through, watch for the Emperor's Divide in this fight as Jackal gets the first kill. Crimson tries to follow through. Excellent hammer. Taking 2 out of the fight, so there's no follow-up.
Gone.
Yeah. Bembo's going to heal up, though. He's got Warmog, so this is really good for them. I would like to have seen him heal a bit more before he goes onto this Baron. I'm not sure how contested this actually will be. Smite is available for Audio Slave. Should be able to follow through on this one, but it's a bit too slow. Stake, again, what was that? I think he was trying to stop him.
That a little too... Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
so
he's
he
looking to stop a
expected
steal.
the attempt.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to get over the wall and bouncing back in. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, that seems more likely, but it was a really good ult from Poppy to get both tanks out of the team fight. That kind of just stopped. They were looking to run down and go for the aggressively finishing off that fight.
Diving in onto the backline now. Tanking the turret is Bembo, which is really good for them. Let's bounce onto 2. Jackal gets the first kill already. So much damage is coming out from the Xerath onto this fight, but Feast is there onto the front lane. They're able to heal through us. We talked about that Bloodthirster onto Jackal. It's so he can survive this poke. Every auto attack, he just heals up. He has the shields for the initial barrage as well. And the front line just aren't falling for the Plebs. And so they're able to pick up that kill. Now going to get the tower able to go through for the inhib. Crimson taking a bit too far forwards. Taking cheeky amount of damage. Forced to flash away on that one, but... At the end of the day, they pick up that Baron, they pick up a couple kills, they get that bot side inhib, and now they finally have the lead in this game.
Taking them a good while to get a stable lead there. It's been back and forth for a while, but now about 5,000 gold in favor of Plebs as they pick up the Baron and sort of brute force their way down the bottom lane. They take out 2 turrets and the inhibitor as well. It's going to force someone. It kind of just makes the game play the side lane macro for them. They struggled with it in the previous game, but now they don't get a choice. It just happens. So they can group up and play this sort of 5v5 style that they like to play. And force Ezreal to be the one to answer down in the side lane. So potential to look for a pick onto Xerath in the mid lane as Pepe Frog's hovering around on the flank.
The win condition is so difficult to pull off for Birmingham at this point. You have to get a dive onto the backline. You need to lock up Jackal. You need to land all of the abilities as well from Unorthodox whilst Jackal's stunned, so he can't just be lifestealing through it. So, like, you need the stun realistically from Tahm Kench to be tied in with the Cataclysm and then all of the abilities from the Xerath. How can that ever happen? That feels so unrealistic. I just don't know how they're going to be able to win it from here in these fights. Just Jackal does too much whilst he's alive. He's 12-3 now. He had such a weak early game compared to what Caitlyn's usually do, but he's recovered so well with the assistance of Pepe Frog in these fights. He just feels unstoppable.
I think particularly with the build that he's gone for with the Bloodthirster and the Nami sustain, there needed to be a Bramble Vest somewhere in one of these tanks builds, because Caitlyn isn't really focusing the backline, so Ezreal never really gets a chance to trade auto attacks with her. He just has to... He's just so subjected to hitting the tanks in the front line, so he has grievous wounds. He just can't apply it onto Caitlyn.
For Xerath?
I think he made the choice between that or the Liandry's. I'm not entirely sure that Liandry's was the right choice, though. Getting sustained damage from a burst mage on the back
now
line
coming through to Devour onto his teammate. Crimson dives into the backline looking for the Let's Bounce, gets it onto the two front lines. Barrage down onto Jackal, isn't quite there. Flashing, he wasn't assisted by Pepe, he was too far away, but the divide comes through. Benbow does feast onto the Ezreal as well, as the minions are just pouring into this base now, even with Jackal finally dying because he just overextended a bit too far forwards, got too cocky in that fight. It doesn't matter, they've lost too much on the back end of it. With the minions falling, and Benbow just been so tanky. Stake just needs to be hitting the turrets right now. I think
that just gets delivered into the enemy fountain.
Yeah, they get those Nexus turrets now. Unlucky RNG trying to catch off Stake, trying to eat him. Flashes there. Is he going to be able to land the tongue? Follow through Pepe Frog, distracting onto them. Bubble does get Audio Slave. And he had the minion damage to pick up the kill in the backline. RNG just about getting picked up by Benbow. The minions are there as well. Does he have enough to get this? Lands the Rupture Barriers there, channeling it. Benbow trying to walk away, but just about. The defense is barely there from Birmingham, but can they deal with all of these super minions of triple inhibs down?
Very little wave clear on Ezreal. The best he can do is just kite them back into the fountain and let that deal with them.
Jackal's going for Elder.
Like that. For the solo on Elder, that's kind of risky, but I suppose he has the build for it.
Ezreal ult isn't up, so that will be his. I hope he waits for more of his teammates to come up before he actually gets it. Yeah, he is. Perfect play from him. Excellent. I mean, it does allow for the Ezreal ult to come back up, but, you know. Well, they should get it now. Yeah. This should be simple. Walk into their base. Don't even start a fight. Just poke them. The minions will do the work, you know. If an inhib comes up, deal with it. You don't even need to
a taste of his own medicine, the long range pokey damage.
Rapid
not much
fire
gonna be not much for Zach to do. Just wait for someone to overextend potentially. Dive onto the backline if an opportunity presents itself. But right now it is just all about the Caitlyn. Got the Knight's Vow on top of her as well, so even more sustain on top of this build. It has the Redemption and the Locket and the Ardent Sensor on Nami, practically full build for a support. All the items he could ever want. All about Jackal now.
We could even see Zac just stand by Jackal, ready to Let's Bounce a target if they try to dive him. Like, he doesn't even need to go in. It could be an interesting line of play, which I don't think I've seen before. The defensive Zac, but
yeah, the secret agent bodyguard Zac.
Yeah.
He's always said he should wear a suit, right?
Taking a lot of poke there. This is awful from Xerath, standing so far forwards. Again, the divide. What was that? But Benbow flashing onto the Ezreal, picks up the kill. Xerath is going to follow shortly. Stake, what? Hammer from Cloudy, double knock up. Honestly, this has been such a good game for Benbow. I think amazing for Jackal, great for Benbow as well. And they deserve this win. They're going to take the 2-0 and advance into the semi-finals now of Nationals Division 2. And hopefully we can actually have a break so I can put some food in the oven or something like that. But we shall see.
I like that plan. We should do that. Can we do that?
You go now, either way.
Fantastic. Good stuff from Benbow. Showing he's more than just a dirty Irelia one-trick. Be fun to watch him when the rework comes out. But for now, he's just going to stick with the tanks. As Jackal seems to be liking the Caitlyn. Big damage. Not only to champions, but also to the structures as well.
Yeah, it's an answer. I think because we've never really seen a team punish them by not allowing him to use the Twitch before. I appreciate it. I like it. I'm just waiting for
Jackal and Caitlyn in that game. 6 towers destroyed.
Damn.
Across the game. That's a CG Caitlyn right there.